Who is Kath McLay?
I am a wife and a mum. I have 3 kids, 14, 18 and 20.
Wow. Hola a todos, estamos aquí desde Punta Arenas, muy contentos de este cuarto capítulo de Entre-Vistas y ya cerrando el año, se nos va el año de diciembre y este es un momento muy especial, primero porque estamos en Punta Arenas haciendo un anuncio y segundo porque está con nosotros nuestra presidenta y CEO de Walmart International, Kath McLay. So Kath, thank you for being with us today. We just made a huge announcement to invest, where we will be investing $1.3 billion in the coming 5 years, opening more than 70 stores, opening new distribution centers, new home offices, new remodels. So we're so excited with the moment that we are living today. So again, thank you very much for taking your time and visiting us here in Punta Arenas. So I would like to know a little bit more about you, about your story. Who is Kath McLay?
Well, first of all, I want to say thank you for inviting me to this beautiful place on this earth. So it's wonderful to be here in Punta Arenas. I am a wife and a mum. I have 3 kids, 14, 18 and 20.
Wow.
I have had the privilege of being in retail for 25 years across a number of countries. I'm a little bit of a daredevil. I don't know if that translates, Christian, but I like to do things that push my boundaries. I like going with my kids rock climbing, and I like whitewater rafting and horse riding and doing things outdoors. And I love being able to get out into nature.
Wow.
And I'm looking forward to spending a little bit of time just exploring around here, because this is some of the most beautiful part of the world that I think I've had the opportunity to get to.
Typically, when I had some interviews with associates, I receive a question that I would like to ask to you. When you were a little girl, what do you want to do when you grew up? Who were your biggest, let me say, your biggest influences in your young life?
I think first I wanted to be a baker, but that's because I liked eating cakes. And then as I got a little older, I realized I'd have to get up way too early in the morning to be a baker. So I decided that I was going to go into sports medicine, and I have no idea what was prompting that. And I kind of fell into business by good fortune. But my father was a very strong influence on me. He was a great leader who very much believed that everybody was equal and that he should treat everyone with dignity and respect. And I got to grow up watching him lead at quite a senior level. And I think his values is what he left with me. The most enduring element was watching his values at play.
I know, Kath, that you worked at Deloitte, Qantas Air in Australia, and of course at Woolworth.
Yeah.
All of this in Sydney, no? So can you please share something with us, something special about those years in these very successful companies?
Yeah, I was in the audit role, and I think what audit taught me is the processes that make up a company. But I remember doing work at Woolworths where we decided to go from farm to plate. And so it's kind of appropriate sitting here on a lamb farm.
Yeah.
But I followed from the cattle yards through to the abattoirs, through to effectively our supply chain and into the stores and then to customers' homes, and looked at the processes and looked at quality control and looked at the supply chain and looked at like how we manage the yield. And I think when you get to like link together all of those processes, you can fall in love with retail, because you see how you're creating jobs and that gives dignity to people, and you see how you're providing great value items and that helps parents feed their families and do it at a great price and great quality. And I think the connection of all of that, there's so much industry and innovation that you can unlock, and I think that was compelling.
It's coming to my mind that you arrived to Walmart in 2015 as a vice president of US finance strategy, and then you moved to supply chain, and then at the later you moved to neighborhood market, that is our supermarket business in the US, and then in 2020 you were appointed as some CEO in the US. So it's an incredible and diverse career that you have made in your past life and also in the Walmart life. So in that way, what advice would you give to our associates that it's looking us to develop in their careers?
Yeah, I think the thing that's worth pointing out, Christian, is I originally thought I was going to come to Walmart for 5 years.
Yeah.
And I thought that at the end of the 5 years, I would have given my absolute best to Walmart, and I would leave and go back to Australia with some international experience and maybe a little bit more financially better off than when I arrived. That was my plan. And then right about that 5-year mark, just as I was thinking about it's time to head back to Australia, I got offered the job to do neighbourhood markets. And it surprised me, and I thought it was the job of a lifetime. And so I did it, and I did it with all of my being. And then 10 months later, I got offered the Sam's Club one. And again, it was a surprise, but I did it to my absolute best ability. And I think what I can see now as the pattern is when you go into a role that you do your very, very best every single day, and that you do it with the intent that you just keep improving. And so for me, just going in and doing my very best and being open and curious and learning stood me in really good stead to get given more and more opportunities.
Great.
So my advice to people would be, like, don't have a slack day.
Yeah.
Like every day, do your best. Every day, turn up and give everything that you've got to make sure that you're improving the area that you're in.
After Sam's, you were appointed President and CEO of Walmart International in 2023. You lead a team about 500,000 associates, serving more than 80 million customers per week across 18 countries. Could you please tell us about your role in being a leader of all these very different and diverse markets?
Yeah. I think it starts with finding great leaders to lead each country. And when you find the right leader, then it's about how you set them up for success and let them run. And so a lot of what I spend time thinking about is what are the qualities that make a great leader, and then how do we empower them to run as far and fast as they possibly can. So that's a large part of what I do. And then the other thing, you have this amazing vantage point in this role where you get to look across the world. And I get to see what's happening in China, and I get to see what's happening in India, and then I get to see what's happening in Mexico and Canada and Chile and Africa. And you start to see trends. And then I would like to be able to use this vantage point to take those trends and share them back with the markets or the countries that we operate in. But I think you also get to see outliers, and you get to spot the outlier and say, I think that's going to be a big thing. And then how do you make sure that we learn from it and work out how we replicate it and how we maybe translate that into like a Walmart way of doing things. So for me, it's picking great leaders and helping them to lead, and then looking for trends and just creating this sense of agile learning within Walmart International.
What would you highlight about Chile or Walmart Chile? It's a question that I have to make.
I think I first of all have to start with just how beautiful this country is. You have beautiful natural resources that just make it a stunning place to visit. And then I'm always impressed with the entrepreneurialism and the innovation and the dedication. And I don't know if that's unique to Walmart Chile or if it's true for the whole country, but I'm always so super impressed, Christian, with your leadership and then your team and then all the extraordinary lengths you go to ensure that we turn up the right way for our customers. When there were fires, making sure that you're first there to help solve the problem. So I think every time I leave Chile, I leave proud and excited and just impressed with how we're partnering with communities.
Yes, I think the power or the role that we have in Chile and the role that we play serving communities, it's incredible.
Yes.
And we know that we have a responsibility under us. We're now closing the year, Kath. We're in December. So can you tell us something that you wish for the next year?
I wish that Walmart International will continue to grow in the relevance in the countries that it serves. I wish that we will help people smile and that we will explode happiness, as you said, not just in Chile but in every market. And I wish that everybody who puts on the Walmart badge comes to work feeling like they belong and comes to work feeling like this is a place where they can thrive.
Great, absolutely, and that connects with our purpose to live better. So well, Kath, again, thank you very much for visiting us. Thank you very much for bringing some people to see and know more about our country, and also to be here in Punta Arenas, so far away from the US. So thank you very much again. Y para los que nos están viendo, muchas gracias por atender este cuarto capítulo de entrevistas. Como mencioné, estamos terminando el año y espero verlos pronto. Ya sería el próximo año en otro capítulo, así que estén atentos. Les iremos informando cuando tendremos otros invitados para seguir durante el próximo año. Espero que tengan una feliz Navidad, que tengan un gran año nuevo y nos vemos el próximo año. Muchas gracias. Bye.